There are people born into comfortable families with kind parents, smooth studies, benefactors. When they step into society and affection wherever they go, some seem always to narrowly avoid danger, to have the wind at their back, as if someone were quietly rolling out a carpet before their every step. Many call that good fortune or luck. But seen through the lens of the Buddha's teaching, nothing is random. The Buddha taught to know the causes of past lives, look at the results in the present. To know the results of future lives, look at the causes you are planting now. In this vast universe, not a single leaf falls without a reason. Every auspicious moment you enjoy today is the fruit of wholesome seeds you once sowed, perhaps in this life, perhaps in lives so distant you no longer remember. Those who live uprightly with kind hearts and wholesome intentions receive things naturally, even without seeking. Those who live selfishly, scheming and harming others may seize advantages for a moment, but cannot keep them for long. Cause and effect never err. They simply ripen sooner or later, depending on conditions. We often see someone's peaceful life without knowing what they have endured, how much they sacrificed to keep a good heart in a harsh world. Some people enjoy abundant blessings in this life and live in peace, not because they are superior, but because in former lives they knew how to give, to endure, to save others when help was needed. Signs of blessing are not for self-praise or to divide rich and poor. They remind those who have blessings to preserve them, and those who lack them to start planting. If you have blessings but do not guard them, they will be spent. If you lack blessings and do not cultivate them, poverty and hardship will follow without end. So how can we recognize someone who carries blessings from past lives? Are there signs that they once lived kindly and accumulated virtue, now receiving the grace of heaven and earth? The Buddha did not teach superstition. He taught cause and effect, practical, lucid ways to live. Buddhist scriptures contain many teachings showing that blessings are real. They manifest in one's bearing, one's fortune, the way one lives and is received by life. A blessed person emits a light from within. They need no show. Wherever they go, they are cherished. Here are 15 clear signs that you or someone around you very likely lived kindly and virtuously in past lives, and thus now receive many blessings, deeply believing in cause and effect, having the Buddha in one's heart, bringing good luck to others, often escaping calamities, being able to discard unwholesome desires, always finding a way out in difficulty, meeting a wonderful spouse, possessing a kind, attractive appearance, raising gentle and capable children, having many noble friends, maintaining inner peace amid a turbulent world, cultivating wholesome mindfulness, practicing self-restraint, generosity and compassion, and finding that endeavors proceed smoothly and unobstructed. In the chapters ahead, we will explore each sign not only to understand, but to reflect on ourselves. Each chapter is a journey back to cause and effect, fortune and misfortune, good and evil in human life. Each will remind us that living righteously is never a loss. Chapter 1. Those who deeply believe in cause and effect. A person may not believe in deities, destiny, or the supernatural, but if they believe in cause and effect, they have taken the first step toward awakening. Faith in cause and effect is not blind credulity. It is clarity, a way of looking into the roots of everything that happens in life. Those who believe in cause and effect live responsibly because they know that every action, word and thought plants a seed. When conditions converge, the fruit will come unfailingly. Amid the currents of life, such people do not live haphazardly. They are careful in small things, from how they speak to strangers to quietly helping someone without seeking repayment. They do not need recognition or reward because they trust that heaven and earth naturally keep the ledger. Above all, their hearts are light. You can recognize those who believe in cause and effect by how they face adversity. When treated unfairly, they do not complain. When misunderstood, they do not rage. They endure patiently and keep a kind heart. One day things clear like the sky after rain. It is not weakness. They simply understand that as you sow, so shall you reap. Hatred cannot dissolve hatred. Only compassion can. There was a middle-aged woman in Hanam, who had been an elementary school teacher all her life, gentle, devoted to her work, loving her students like her own children. She taught them honesty, love for parents, and respect for teachers. After she stood up for a student who was being bullied, some became jealous, slandered her, and even had her reassigned to a remote area. For 2 full years, she kept teaching quietly, never uttering a complaint. Every morning she rose early, lit incense on the Buddha altar, recited Namo Amitabha. Buddha then went to class. When the person who accused her was later investigated and found at fault, she did not rejoice or bring up the past. She simply said gently, "Everyone errs at times. Let's not create more karma." She lived in a small, modest house, yet everyone who visited felt an uncanny warmth. The student who had been bullied is now a skilled doctor who still visits her often. At a gathering of retired teachers, she once said she had never felt disadvantaged because each day of peace, each morning of chanting, and each grateful gaze from a student were blessings beyond price. Her life is living proof of the Buddha's words. Those who believe in cause and effect do not need to fight to defeat others, because defeating someone does not mean you are truly better. Conquering yourself, anger, delusion, greed, that is the greatest victory. Their serenity comes from a tranquil heart. They believe in cause and effect, not to live timidly in fear, but to live consciously, lovingly, and with cultivation. They know what they have is not accidental. It is the gradual accumulation of blessings from the past. Now that the flowers have blossomed, they do not blame fate or measure themselves against others. They live more slowly, carefully, and thoroughly in the smallest things. They know cause and effect, overlook no one, and they stand firmly without needing worldly crutches. Perhaps nothing is more wondrous than a person who, despite 1,000 hardships, still keeps faith in goodness. No light is brighter than that in the eyes of one who has tasted suffering yet chooses kindness. Surely such a person once sowed wholesome causes, and today blessings are blooming in their life quietly like a lotus in the mud, needing no showy brilliance, yet spreading a fragrance that travels far. Chapter 2. The Buddha in the Heart. A person does not need to say they practice, does not need to wear a robe or hold a mala, does not need to visit the temple every month. If deep within they can keep stillness, compassion, and wakefulness, then they already have the Buddha in their heart. Having the Buddha in the heart is not an outward show of form. It is warmth from within, the quiet radiance of compassion that spreads around the eyes, that know how to love the words, that know how to yield, and the actions that do not harm anyone. Even unintentionally, a person with the Buddha in their heart does not look for others' faults. They always turn the light back on themselves. They live carefully, not out of fear of reproach, but because they do not want to create new karma. They keep their heart as light as a cloud, their steps as gentle as the wind, leaving no mark on anyone's life. There was a man named Than, who lived in a rural area of the central region. Each day he carried water for his neighbors, helped sweep the temple yard, and picked vegetables for the elderly who lived alone in the village. When asked why, he only smiled and said he did it when he had free time. No one knew that more than 20 years earlier, he had lived carelessly, addicted to alcohol, quick-tempered, and had caused his wife and children much suffering. One day his wife died suddenly in an accident. His eldest son was working far away and could not return in time. He sat alone by his wife's altar. Through the night, and when morning came, he gathered all his bottles of liquor, took them to the yard, poured them out, and knelt to light incense. From that day he did not drink another drop. He began going to the temple to listen to the teachings and study the Dharma. From a hot-tempered man he became quiet. Each morning he rose very early, chanted a few lines from the Amitabha teaching, then went out to the garden. If anyone needed help, he was ready, and he never took payment. The neighbor's little granddaughter said, "You are like a real Buddha, because you are always smiling and helping people." Once a child fell into a bamboo thicket and was bleeding heavily. People did not know what to do. He was the first to run over. He picked the child up and ran to the clinic, his whole body covered in blood, without a moment of hesitation. That child grew up, and every Lunar New Year visited him, calling him Grandpa. When asked why he had changed so much, he answered, "Because now there is the Buddha in my heart." A person with the Buddha in the heart cannot live selfishly, cannot be indifferent, cannot harm anyone. If I did, the Buddha in my heart would be hurt. Than said that since the day the Buddha was in his heart, his life had become much more peaceful. He no longer feared illness or death because he lived each day as if it were the last. Every deed was a way of dedicating merit, every word a wholesome vow. A person with the Buddha in the heart does not need to justify or explain. Their light speaks for everything. Whether poor or rich, they make others feel safe when near them because there is a kind of peace that emanates from them, impossible to define yet easy to feel. That very peace is also a sign of blessings that have been cultivated over many lifetimes. A person with the Buddha in the heart is one who has learned to bow their head before suffering, to yield when insulted, to be silent amid noise, to preserve a quiet realm within. The Buddha is not far away. The Buddha is in each gentle breath, in each look that sees with love, in each silent act that needs no witness. Such a person will not be toppled by life's storms because their roots are anchored deep in the soil of goodness and wakefulness, because within their heart the Buddha sits at ease. Chapter 3. Always bringing good fortune to others. There are people whose very appearance brightens any place they go. It is not because they are flashy, wealthy, or powerful, but because they carry with them a field of warmth, goodness, and remarkable lightness. They come into others' lives like a fresh breeze, a soft ray of sunlight, a stroke of good luck that no one had to wait for. Their very presence is a blessing. Someone walks into a quiet eatery, and not long after, the place is full of customers. Someone calls you when you feel most hopeless, and their words pull your heart back from the edge. Someone's mere arrival can make many things around you change in a positive direction. Such a person carries a field of blessed energy. The special thing is that they often do not know it because they live simply and humbly. They do kind things as a habit, as a way of life that needs no calculation. It is precisely that quiet kindness without scheming and without seeking repayment that becomes a guiding light for others. Blessings are not only for oneself. True blessings can spread, transmit, and exert influence. Wherever people rich in blessings go, they can create peace. There is no need to tell others how to live well. Through their very presence, they are a living lesson. Phuong, a woman in her 40s, who lives in a small town in the southwest, is a true example. Every morning she sells crab noodle soup in front of the market gate. There is no signboard and no gleaming glass case, only an old carrying pole and a few plastic stools. Yet anyone who eats once comes back, not because the dish is unusually special, but because she smiles so gently, speaks so softly, and is always ready to reduce the price for those in need. Once, a little shoeshine boy stood looking at the pot of soup, not daring to come close. She called him over and served him a full bowl just like everyone else. When he shyly took out his money, she waved her hand and said, "Eat until you are full, then go to school." The story spread through the market. People began stopping by not only for the soup, but because they wanted to see such a person amid a hectic, calculating world. Before long, her stall became so busy that many sellers nearby also benefited. The bread seller next door happily said, "Since Phuong's stall got crowded, customers stopped to buy bread and drinks, and everyone earns more." Some came to ask her for the secret of doing business. She only smiled and said that if you live for others, heaven will show you favor. Phuong has not studied Buddhism formally, but in her way of living, she seems to be practicing. She always knows how to love, to share, to keep her heart clean and calm. She greets everyone gently when they arrive. When they leave, she sends a good wish. One day, an elderly woman who sold lottery tickets fell right in front of her stall. Phuong helped her to a seat, cooked porridge, and massaged her legs. After that, every morning she set aside a small bowl of porridge for the woman. She never told anyone about such small things, but people saw and felt them. Somehow, since she appeared, the once hectic market has become more peaceful, and the neighbors more cordial. A blessed person is not necessarily always wealthy. They are someone who can sow good seeds wherever they are. When they are present, harmful things shrink back and good things blossom. They do not preach and do not need to prove anything. With their mindful presence alone, they settle people's hearts and make minds lighter. When asked if she ever feels tired from helping so many people, she answered, "Every time I do something good, I feel coolness in my heart, as if it has just been watered. A heart tree that is watered every day does not wither." The good fortune that someone like her brings is not a miracle. It is the result of countless wholesome causes once planted. She once helped others in past lives. She once lived a life of complete virtue. In this life, those things have not been lost. They have turned into light that quietly spreads through the present. The presence of a person that makes others want to live better and be kinder is one of the clearest signs of great blessings accumulated over many lifetimes. No lofty things are needed, no flowery words are required. A pure heart and a way of living that harms no one are enough to make the world around us better. Such a person makes flowers bloom beneath their steps. Every place they have been keeps a little of their light. Everyone who has met them feels their heart grow lighter. In the Buddha's teaching, that is someone who has sown deep, wholesome causes. In the present, they not only enjoy blessings for themselves, they are also a lamp lighting the way for many others, helping them find the light of compassion in a world with much darkness. Chapter 4. Often escaping calamity. There are people who, even when everything hangs by a thread, still step out unharmed, who in the midst of grave illness still find the remedy that saves them. In a dangerous world, at the very moment others fall into despair, they somehow discover a small door opening onto light. Many call that luck heaven's favor, a fated deliverance. But if we quiet the mind, we will see that within each narrow escape are the footprints of merit quietly accumulated over former years, over lifetimes of sowing goodness without seeking reward. According to the Buddha's teaching, blessings and misfortunes never arrive on their own. Blessing is the fruit of wholesome causes. Harm is the result of unwholesome karma. Someone who once saved a life from a flood may in this life be pulled ashore when a car overturns or a boat capsizes. Someone who once sheltered an old person from the rain may, in a time of severe illness, meet a devoted doctor who helps without caring about payment. It is no accident that blessings come when we need them most. They are the good fruits of seeds we quietly sowed in the field of merit among humankind. Those who often escape calamity are not people who never face disaster. They are people whose blessings are sufficient to pass through disaster without lasting harm. They also hurt, they also weep. They also know times of utmost suffering, but there is always an unseen hand that catches them. A wondrous turning of conditions at the right moment. A light seemingly spiritual that illuminates the dark path. There are illnesses that seem certain to end a life, yet some survive in ways that defy belief. There are accidents that happen in an instant, yet some seem shielded from the scythe of death. They are not saints nor extraordinarily capable, but they possess an inner strength, born of a long practice of kindness, of minds turned toward the good of small, quiet acts of goodness, carried out for many years. The Dharma does not promise that good people will avoid suffering. It teaches that those who live wholesomely will have a refuge amid suffering. That refuge is the supporting power of cause and effect, the grace of goodness once given in silence. To escape calamity is not some mythical miracle. It is the visible blessing of past good hearts. Like a small lamp in the night, it may not banish all darkness, but it is enough to light one person's way forward. In a moment of peril, that little light is everything. People often escape calamity not only because of past merit, but because they live so as not to create new, unwholesome karma in the present. They know how to yield in arguments, to step back from slander, to keep a peaceful heart in uncertainty. It is precisely the refusal to generate new karma that protects them. When old karma ripens, we cannot erase every trial that life brings, but we can prepare an inner life suffused with merit. Such merit does not come from morning prayers alone, but from sincere daily deeds, a bowl of rice for the hungry, a gentle word for the sorrowing, a look of compassion when someone errs. All are seeds that will blossom into good fruit when we need it most. And if one day you find yourself delivered from a crisis you thought you could never survive, do not only thank fate, bow your head in gratitude, to the wholesome intentions you once kept, the times you chose forbearance over anger, the moments you quietly yielded when no one knew. Heaven and earth have seen them, and cause and effect never abandon the kind. Chapter 5. Knowing how to let go of unwholesome desires. On the path of practice, the hardest thing is not how many good deeds you learn to do, but how many unwholesome habits you can put down. Not everyone who does good is already blessed. The truly awakened are those who dare to look deeply into their own minds, recognize the delusions they have clung to, and release them. Craving is what keeps people in unending suffering. It does not only lie in bodily or material appetites, it hides in greed, anger, jealousy, and conceit. Those who live to satisfy craving can hardly avoid the consequences, because craving is the root of all suffering. To know peace, one must learn to cast it off. A blessed person is not one without desires, but one wise enough not to be ruled by them. They can live in the world without being tainted by base demands. They may possess many things, yet their heart remains light, unbound by what they own. They do not chase flashy, fleeting things, nor are they swept away by the bottomless whirlpool of worldly wants. The scriptures teach that one cannot enter the realm of purity without cutting off ego and sensual attachment. Sensual attachment is the hook of ignorance. Ego is the stone tied to the practitioner's feet, keeping them from advancing on the path of liberation. The one who releases craving is lightening their burden, peeling away the layers of dust that veil the heart. Those who can let go of craving are transforming their karma. No more grasping, no more harming, no more being carried off by temptation. They live awake, live lightly, as if each moment were a stick of incense offered to life. They need prove nothing and seek no praise, for the greatest reward is the peace within their own heart. That too is a kind of invisible blessing that no one can take away. Chapter 6. Finding a way out, even in hard times. There are people who, though they pass through countless ordeals, do not collapse. There are moments when they seem to have fallen to the very bottom of suffering, yet wondrously a small door still opens, a hand still reaches out, a faint light still glimmers in the dark. People call that luck, a good fate, or the aid of benefactors. For those who study the Buddha's teaching, it is a sign of blessings planted in past lives. Those blessings quietly lift them up when everything seems to have fallen apart. The Buddha taught that 3 things are never lost. First, wholesome karma already created. Second, blessings already accumulated. Third, a sincere vow. These follow us like a shadow, arriving without appointment, coming without being asked for. Those who have lived kindly will not remain in despair for long when difficulties arise, because their roots are sunk into the soil of goodness, and even a storm cannot easily uproot them. Finding a way out in hardship is not accidental. It is cause and effect. Such a person once saved someone, once opened a path so another could pass a rough stretch, once hid their own tears to offer a smile. Heaven and earth do not forget such things. One day, when that person comes to a dead end in life, those blessings become a key that opens a way where none seem to exist. Finding a way out is not because heaven favors anyone, but because that person has never closed the door of the heart to life. When we know how to open our heart to others, then when we sink into darkness, someone will also bring light and step in. A blessed person keeps faith in adversity. They do not blame fate or resent anyone. They face things calmly, learn to listen in silence, learn to yield and let go. They understand that effort does not always bring what we want right away. If one lives wholesomely enough, the sweet fruit will arrive even if late. In the Anguttara Nikaya, the Buddha told of a monk once falsely accused of theft by villagers. He did not defend himself. He continued to carry his alms bowl and go on alms round, even as people threw stones and hurled insults. A year later, the real thief was caught. The villagers regretted their actions and apologized to the monk. He only smiled gently and said, "The one who sowed the wrong cause has now reaped the result. Those who misunderstood have learned the truth. As for my heart, from beginning to end, it has not left compassion. A practitioner's way out is not outside. It lies in an unmoving mind. So it is in worldly life. The way out does not always lie in money, title, or power, but in perseverance and in keeping a kind heart amid adversity. Those who once helped others through deadlocks will be helped when they meet their own. Those who once opened a door for the lost will not be left wandering in a blind alley. Those who once lit hope for others will not find their own lamp extinguished in the midnight of life. We cannot choose everything in this world, but we can choose to live, so that even in hardship we do not despair. Live so that each day adds a little more blessing. Live so that when one door closes, another opens on its own. That is the path out for the blessed. Chapter 7. Meeting a wonderful husband or wife. There are bonds that seem accidental, yet last a lifetime. Some people pass hundreds of glances, only to stop before one ordinary person, not dazzling, not perfect, yet strangely peaceful to be with. That person is not only a spouse, but a companion, a confidant, a support, and also a mirror, reflecting one's own karmic ties. In Buddhism, marriage is not only a matter of one lifetime. It is roots and vines intertwined across many lives. With affinity we meet with debt. We remain bound with kindness. We repay with resentment we resolve. Meeting a good husband or wife is not random and not merely luck. It is blessing, it is wholesome, affinity. It is a good cause once planted through immeasurable lives. Those who are blessed in marriage usually do not have to search too long. They meet the right person at the right time and walk together through imperfect years with great love. There is no noise, no excessive romance, but there is unity, respect, care, patience, and a quiet yet enduring tenderness. Meeting a wonderful spouse is not finding an ideal person. It is finding someone who makes you want to live better. When that person is present, you no longer feel alone in a vast world. Even with flaws on both sides, you are both willing to mend and complete each other. Such a marriage is a kind of blessing. In the Tien-Sin Sutra, the Buddha teaches that husband and wife should respect each other like honored guests, love each other, like family yield to each other, like friends care for each other as one would care for the sick and understand each other as they understand themselves in marriage. With these qualities, the home becomes a place of practice. Spouses become spiritual friends, and each day of living together becomes a precious lesson. If you are living beside someone who makes you feel at peace and inspires you to be kinder, that is a great blessing. If you once lost your way, and that person did not leave, but was willing to sit with you and mend the cracks, that is a karmic bond to be cherished. Do not take lightly those who stay through difficulties. They are not only a husband or a wife. They may be a spiritual companion, someone with whom you have shared deep kindness over many lifetimes. If you have not met such a person, do not rush to blame anything. Perhaps you need to sow more blessings to learn more patience, gratitude, and unconditional love. Affinity is the meeting of two streams of karma. When your heart is wholesome enough, the one who is worthy will arrive like flowers that bloom when spring comes. Chapter 8. A benevolent, beautiful appearance. One's look is a result, not a coincidence. Some people win your affection at first sight. Some may not fit worldly standards of beauty, yet the more you are around them, the more beautiful they seem. Some need say nothing at all. Simply sitting in silence already calms the hearts of others. This is beauty that arises from within the outer form, crystallized from a wholesome mind. It is blessing revealed through appearance. In Buddhism, there is the teaching form follows the mind, meaning the outward form faithfully reflects the inner heart. A gentle mind gives eyes that are clear and soft, a light smile, an unhurried gait. A mind steeped in anger and delusion hardens the face, sharpens the voice, and turns the gaze piercing like a blade. Form cannot hide the mind, and blessings often do not lie in money, but show plainly in bearing and complexion. In the Anguttara Nikaya, the Buddha teaches that those who keep body, speech, and mind pure, who delight in helping others, who feel healthy shame and are humble, will be reborn with upright features, a bright complexion, and a face that naturally inspires respect. That is an auspicious appearance. A person's look expresses wholesome or unwholesome karma. One who often indulges in anger over time will wear it upon the face and in a prickly gaze. One who worries incessantly will have distracted eyes, a hurried gait, a trembling voice. By contrast, one who lives gently and knows how to love oneself and others will have a fresh complexion, a relaxed countenance, and a tender gaze. They do not need heavy makeup or elaborate dress. They are beautiful because their heart is beautiful, and that is the kind of beauty others remember. A monk once said, "If you want to know your future appearance, look at how you live today. If you are sincere, if you listen, if you do not harm others, then in time you will have a presence that makes people feel at ease." That is the kind of beauty that needs no display. Beauty is not the absence of wrinkles, a pale skin tone, or long legs. Beauty is standing in a crowd while keeping compassionate eyes. Beauty is sitting with someone in pain so that without a word, your gaze can comfort them. Beauty is using this body to do good, your speech to heal, and your eyes to pass on trust. Blessing can show in the body. A person with a benevolent countenance is someone who once sowed good causes by refusing to harm, to hate, to fight, or to chase gossip. They once yielded when insulted, kept kindness when misunderstood, quietly helped others without needing anyone to know. A fine appearance is the knotting together of blessing and practice. Those with a kindly look are often people who have endured much while remaining patient and generous, who have accepted many losses without resentment. That creates a subtle radiance that permeates outward, which we call bearing. If you were born with a gentle face, kind eyes, and a warm smile that is a sign of blessing, preserve and nourish that auspicious look with mindful living. If you do not yet have it, do not be sad because form arises from the mind. Live kindly, and your appearance will gradually change with your heart. Everyone can be beautiful in their own way without resembling anyone else. If each day you live a little more gently, speak a little more softly, and think a little more wholesomely, your inner light will naturally shine. No cosmetics can replace that light. It is the beauty of blessing, the beauty that does not fade with time, the beauty born of cause and effect, the beauty that puts other hearts at ease. Chapter 9. Children who are good and capable. Some people feel at peace the moment their child is born. The child is not only healthy and intelligent, but also polite, diligent, and considerate from an early age. As they grow, they study well, behave calmly, think of others, and give their parents little worry. Each step the child takes adds joy to the lives of those who brought them into the world. Many call this the parent's blessing. Indeed, to have such children is one of the clearest signs of great merit. According to the Buddha's teaching, the meeting of parents and children is never random. It is karmic affinity, karmic force, a deep bond braided across many lives. With affinity, one becomes child, father, or mother. With debts, one comes to repay. With gratitude, one comes to return kindness. With blessing, one comes to support, to practice together, to transform, and to do good in the world. Good and capable children are not only the result of bloodline, nor merely of upbringing. They are also the fruit of wholesome causes the parents have sown. Parents who live uprightly honor their ancestors, help those in hardship, refrain from anger, and do nothing against the way, gather wholesome causes that condense into blessing. That blessing gathers and gives rise to a child with wholesome roots, a gentle disposition, and favorable conditions in life. The ancients said, "If you want to know a person's past lives, look at their children, for they are the fruit of causes already sown." Parents who once saved others will in turn have children who meet saviors. Parents who practice patience, gratitude, and kindness will have children who are gentle, filial, and faithful. A child's blessing is a mirror reflecting the parent's merit. People often say, children mirror their parents' lives. If you want to know how you have been living, look at how your child behaves. If your child knows how to yield to love, to respect themselves, and to be filial, that is a sign the family has long accumulated wholesome causes. If, on the contrary, a child is rebellious, often creating harm, unfilial, and unkind, then the parents should also look back at themselves and consider what seeds they have been planting in mind, in daily life, and in every word and deed. Blessing does not lie only in money. It lies in virtue in one's later fortune and in the next generation. To give birth to good and capable children is a gift heaven and earth return to parents who have lived with conscience and compassion. To keep children on a wholesome path requires parents to continue refining themselves and accumulating merit daily. Children need not only to be born, they need to be nourished with the light of love and moral truth. If you have good and gentle children, cherish them and keep living virtuously to preserve that blessing. If your child has gone astray, do not only blame them. Correct yourself, pray, dedicate, merit, recite sutras, and do good to transform the situation. Cause and effect never fall silent. When parents change their hearts, children will feel it and change too. Blessing gives birth to virtuous children and raises them into capable adults. If you want your children to become people of worth, you yourself must first be a person of heart and character. That is the deep principle within the bond between parents and children, and it is also clear proof of one of life's greatest blessings. Chapter 10. Being cherished by many friends. One of the clearest blessings a person can have is not money and not power. It is how many people are willing to stand by them without calculation when hardship strikes. Some are wealthy, yet lonely. Some are successful, yet surrounded by gossip and strife. Others live simply go anywhere and are warmly received. Do not jostle for gain, do not beg for favor, yet are always helped by kind benefactors. This is a sign of someone blessed in relationships. In the Buddha's teaching, every relationship is an affinity. With wholesome affinity, we meet and support one another. With karmic entanglement, we meet and blame one another. Those who are cherished by many friends are the ones who sowed wholesome affinities before. They need not be smooth talkers or highly accomplished. They have a kind heart and kind words. They are considerate, they think of others, and they avoid hurting anyone. That is what makes people feel comfortable and safe around them. A person blessed in relationships knows how to keep respect. They do not flatter those above or look down on those below. They do not make friends through feasting and drinking, and they do not toss around promises. They sustain bonds with steady, compassionate actions. That is the foundation of lasting affection. A life may not require many friends, but if you live so that everyone who meets you feels at ease and at peace, that itself is a kind of blessing. It cannot be bought. It arises from how you live and how you treat others. Being cherished by many friends is not the mark of a slick networker. It is the mark of an unselfish heart. Such a person keeps their word, listens when someone needs to share, and does not weaponize old stories to accuse. They do not turn another's private matters into a joke. They live sincerely without hidden agendas, and so they draw to themselves people who are likewise decent. In the scriptures, the Buddha often emphasized the importance of noble friends. These are good companions who walk together on the path of practice and transformation. To have a virtuous friend is to have a mirror. To have a good friend is to have a support when the heart is weak. Being well regarded by many good people is a sign that you are on the right path and living in accord with the human way. If you have friends who always message you when you are sad, who listen when your heart is tangled, who offer a shoulder when you are tired, that is a great blessing. If you have a group who wish one another peace each day, even when far apart, you are living inside a network of blessings. If you want to be cherished by many, live so that you do not become a burden to others. Quietly do good. Do not complain much. Do not blame anyone. Do not use your pain as a reason to hurt others. Keep a clear gaze, a gentle smile, and a heart that can tremble at another's suffering. Live like this and you will draw to yourself souls like your own. You will not have to chase friends. You will become a place where others come to rest. Then you will understand that being cherished by many is a real blessing that arises from your heart and spreads like a soft fragrance through everyday life. Chapter 11. A peaceful heart amid life. In a world full of upheaval where everything can change after a gust of wind, a sudden rain or an unexpected event, keeping a peaceful heart has become a great blessing. Some are rich yet always anxious, suspicious, and unsettled. Some hold high office yet live in fear and wariness. Others live plainly with little in hand, yet their face is always serene, their step unhurried, their words measured and calm. Such people are blessed not with material fortune, but with the fortune of the heart. According to the Buddha, peace does not come from circumstances, it comes from within. When the heart does not move, the world cannot disturb it. When the heart is not in turmoil, even if the world turns upside down, it cannot sweep you away. To practice is to learn to keep the heart steady in the midst of life. It is not to run away from life. It is to live in the world without being swayed by praise and blame, gain and loss, right and wrong in the marketplace. A peaceful heart is the result of long cultivation. No one is born peaceful. Those who are peaceful have known storms, wounds and falls. Instead of resenting life, they learn to turn inward and heal. They do not blame and do not accuse. They accept and transform. Each pain becomes a lesson. Each upheaval becomes a reminder. Each letting go lightens the load. Only those with blessings can keep a peaceful heart, and a peaceful heart in turn generates more blessings. This is the circle of goodness. When your inner life is steady, fear falls away. Without fear, you look at life with compassion. With compassion, you live more lightly. Living lightly, you spread peace to others. If you feel your heart is wavering, pause a moment. Sit down and breathe deeply. Close your eyes and look into your mind to see what it holds. If there is anger, breathe to soften it. If there is sorrow, breathe to settle it. If greed, aversion, and delusion are present, recognize them as clouds drifting across the sky. Do not cling and do not hate. Simply see that peace is not far away. It is here in the present moment, in mindful breathing and letting go, in a gaze without judgment. Once you touch that peace, you will understand that the greatest blessing is not how much you possess in the world outside. It is how much stillness you can keep in your heart in a world full of dust and wind. Chapter 12. A Wholesome Faith. There are times in life when we pass through days that are too dark, when everything seems to oppose us, when career fails, family is in turmoil, bodily illness drags on, and the illness of the heart deepens. In such times, if within we can still keep a small flame called faith, that very flame will keep us from sinking into despair. To have a wholesome faith is to have a quiet foundation that helps us stand firm through years of suffering. Faith is a deep trust in what is good and wholesome, in cause and effect, in moral truth, in light amid darkness. It is not blind belief. It is faith nourished by experience, by what we have witnessed, by intuition, and by the heart's direct knowing. A person with wholesome faith is not someone who never doubts, but someone who can pass through doubt by returning to their own heart. The Dharma calls this right faith. Right faith differs from wrong belief in that it does not lead us into delusion but guides us to wakefulness. It does not make us merely beg for favors. It reminds us to sow good causes so we can open a path for ourselves. Right faith is not loud and showy. It is gentle as a breath, yet when it abides firmly in the heart, it is strong enough to carry a person through the storms of life. Wholesome faith is a blessing. Those with blessings encounter what is good. Those without blessings have a faith that wavers easily. At a little hardship, they blame the Buddha. In disaster, they abandon practice. When crossed, they rail at the heavens. The blessed are not like that. They understand that everything has its causes and effects. They do not pray for magic, only for enough trust to keep going. If you are suffering and lost, find a quiet place. Sit down, chant a sutra, light a stick of incense. Settle your heart and trust that this pain is not forever. Have faith, but not only faith in words. Have faith by living more wholesomely each day. One less complaint, one less unkind thought, one less harmful deed. Faith is the root from which all blessings arise. If faith remains, the path remains. If faith is steady, your steps do not stray. If faith is bright, your life will gradually grow bright as well. Chapter 13. Practicing self-restraint. In the Dhammapada, the Buddha teaches that conquering 1,000 armies is not worth as much as conquering oneself. Among all the enemies in a human life, the most dangerous is not outside, but within our own greed, hatred, and delusion, always lying in wait to surge up. Whoever can restrain themselves, keeping the mind from being swept away by anger, pulled by craving, or dragged by harmful habits, is walking step by step on the path to liberation. Restraint is not weakness. It is the strength of an inner life that has been tempered. It is the wisdom that sees deeply into the consequences of every action, word, and thought. The blessed are often those who can govern themselves, not because they have never felt anger or irritation, but because they have enough mindfulness not to say words that wound, and not to do things they will regret later. Restraint is not suppression. Restraint is wakefulness. When anger flares, it is having the clarity to slow the breath. When a harsh word is about to burst forth, it is the lucidity to turn away in silence. When a painful truth strikes, it is the largeness of heart not to react at once, but to step back and observe. Passing through such moments, we see that the hardest thing in life is not changing the world, but keeping peace within ourselves. One who practices self-restraint is storing blessings for themselves. Each time we do not explode in anger, we avoid fallout. Each time we withhold a cruel word, we preserve a good cause. Each time we endure a small slight, we open a larger road. Blessing is born from patience. Great virtue grows from timely silence. Every lasting success begins with enduring inner strength. Among the qualities a practitioner must cultivate, self-restraint is the root of the precepts. Not killing is restraining violence. Not stealing is restraining greed. Avoiding sexual misconduct is restraining craving. Not lying is restraining boastfulness and deceit. Not taking intoxicants is restraining self-abandonment. To keep the 5 precepts is to keep open 5 gates of happiness. The ancients said 1 moment of anger, 100 years of regret. But if in that very moment we know to slow our breath, step back and keep silent in mindfulness, that moment becomes a bright mark on the path of self-correction, and that is the greatest victory a person can attain. If you find yourself quick to anger, easily irritable, easily saying things that hurt others, do not rush to condemn yourself. Begin by looking directly at the anger. Acknowledge it without denial and without judgment. Breathe. Recite the Buddha's name. Walk in silence. Remember, the silence of the mindful is not defeat. It is profound mastery. A person who practices self-restraint is planting a sturdy tree for the whole family because their heart is cool, their words are soothing, and their actions are kind. Beside such a person, everyone feels at ease and safe, unhurt and unafraid. Blessings that arise from within need no audience. It is enough that we ourselves know and keep them. Each time we master ourselves, we dissolve old karma. Each time we endure, our blessings blossom. Chapter 14. Generous compassion in an ever more hasty, competitive and wounded world. Those who live with generosity and compassion become a cool, refreshing breeze. Such a person has certainly been insulted, hurt and misunderstood, yet they choose not to retaliate, not to harbor hatred, not to turn bitter. They choose silence, forgiveness and forbearance. And it is precisely these choices that make their life light as a cloud, bright as the moon, with blessings flowing back to them like a quiet stream. Generosity is the ability to let others' faults pass without bringing them up again. Compassion is the capacity to love even those who have caused us pain. In the Buddha's teaching, compassion is one of the 4 immeasurables, along with sympathetic joy and equanimity, and is the root of all merit. A person with a compassionate heart brings light wherever they go. One who is generous plants peace wherever they live. No one is born knowing how to be magnanimous. Some must pass through much hurt to grasp the value of forgiveness. Some must lose a great deal before realizing that hatred only weighs the heart down, while forgiveness lays the burden down without requiring anyone's apology. A generous, compassionate person does not live to win or lose. They do not need to win the argument or prove themselves sufficient. They only need to keep their heart free of resentment, malice, and revenge. They live like a cool stream running through dryness without fanfare, yet nourishing an entire field. A generous heart is a blessing. A compassionate heart is the root of peace. Those who live with forbearance have no enemies, for in their eyes, even an enemy is someone to be pitied. Those who hurt them are regarded as lessons. Those who misunderstood them are like passing wind. They do not hold on, do not bind themselves in enmity, do not prolong pain. Compassion is not weakness. Compassion is strength, the capacity to see others with eyes of understanding and love. Instead of anger and hatred, it is knowing that everyone carries their own suffering and has made mistakes. If we cannot help them become better, at least do not wound them further. Where compassionate people pass, they leave a gentle afterglow. They need not preach, for their actions are great teachings. They may not be rich or famous, but their hearts shine like a lamp in the night. Beside them, people feel at peace. If you are carrying hatred, try taking a deep breath and reconsider. Does hatred make you healthier, help you sleep better, make the other person change? If not, let it go. Forgive not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. If you have been hurt by others, place your hand on your chest and say, I choose not to resent. I choose to forgive. I choose to heal. I choose to go on with a lighter heart. Generosity and compassion are not given to everyone at birth, but anyone can learn them. A little each day, one situation at a time, each small act of forgiveness and forbearance will gather into an inner sea. From there, blessings arise, life brightens, and the heart comes to rest. Chapter 15. Whatever you do goes smoothly and unobstructed. There are people who seem to walk through life guided by a hidden light. Whatever they do flows easily. At difficulties, helpers appear. At crossroads, new opportunities open. In dead ends, an unexpected path emerges. They are not necessarily exceptionally gifted, nor do they always speak up in crowds, but they possess one unmistakable thing: blessing. And that blessing does not fall from the sky. It is fruit ripened from wholesome causes quietly planted across many lifetimes. Having things proceed smoothly and unobstructed is a sign of great merit accumulated before. Such blessing is not noisy like fame nor glittering like wealth, but silently arranges events in one's life to unfold gently and well. They may face storms, yet they get through them in wondrous ways. They may lose their way, yet they are never truly abandoned. In the Dharma, smooth going is not random, but the working of cause and effect. Those who once helped others fulfill their aims will, when needed, be helped in turn. Those who once opened a road for others through darkness will find light shining when they themselves enter a long night. Those who quietly gave time, effort, and kindness without seeking repayment will be quietly repaid by life with natural ease. People for whom things go smoothly are those who have patiently cultivated merit in silence. They do not seek fame, yet are esteemed. They do not chase luck, yet meet opportunities. They do not force connections, yet attract affection and willing support. This unobstructed flow arises from a wholesome heart. When the heart is clean, the path brightens. When the heart is clear, the world feels light. When the heart is kind, the universe responds with kindness. Skill alone does not guarantee success. Effort alone does not ensure results. If blessing is not yet sufficient, even great talent meets obstacles. But when blessing is abundant, a single small action can open a great way, like a seed lying long in the soil that sprouts into a vigorous tree when rain and sun arrive at the right moment. Those blessed with ease are those who live rightly in accord with moral truth, with goodness, with human feeling. They do not quarrel over trifles, do not torment themselves over the past, do not covet what has not yet come. They are composed, thorough, speak kindly, and do good. They do not advertise their goodness, yet everyone feels the warmth that radiates from them. Above all, they never forget gratitude in success. They remember their helpers. In security, they recall their hard days. In abundance, they think of sharing. Such blessing keeps their fortune from waning. Such virtue draws good people to them. If you find yourself often facing obstacles, do not lose heart. Examine your mind, amend your actions, live more kindly and patiently, do what is right even when unseen. Every wholesome cause you plant will sprout. When the time comes, not a single good seed falls into the void. If you are living through a smooth season, cherish it. Do not think you are better than others. Think of it as the fruit of good causes once quietly sown. To keep that fruit from running out, continue to live, speak, and think wholesomely. Ease does not come from luck. It comes from how we live each day. Blessing does not come from begging. It comes from small right actions, repeated tirelessly. Those for whom things go smoothly walk a road paved with loving kindness. They need not jostle for their blessings make room. They need not grasp for what is worthy, will come when the heart is clean enough. If you are walking this path, living kindly, keeping a clear mind, acting decently, then even if today still holds many thorns, one day you will find life softening. No one plants flowers without someday seeing them bloom. Only be patient and keep faith in the good of this life. If you sit very still and look back, you will see some people are born far ahead. They do not strain excessively, yet things go well. Wherever they go, they are well liked. They have a gentle family, good children, a tranquil mind and safety in each step. We call that great blessing. Seen through the Buddha's eye, it is the fruit of wholesome causes they planted. Perhaps in this life, perhaps in many lives before. Blessing does not arise on its own. It crystallizes from every kind word, every small good deed, every sincere, unselfish thought. Each time we swallow anger, each time we forgive someone who hurt us, each time we help another through suffering without needing recognition, we are quietly storing blessings for ourselves. Someone asks, "I live well, why am I still unhappy?" Blessing has not yet arrived because the fruit has not yet met the right conditions to ripen. Do not lose heart. Every wholesome cause will flower at the right time. And if you already see signs of blessing, guard them. Do not grow arrogant or complacent. Blessings that are not guarded diminish. This is why the ancients said, "Do not exhaust your blessings in enjoyment." If you do not yet see such signs, do not be sad. What is planted today is harvested tomorrow. Begin now, live more kindly, listen more, help sincerely, and be grateful for small things. You are planting good seeds. One day, you will see life gentling people, loving you more, work flowing more easily, your mind clearer and your heart warmer. Practice is not only what happens in a temple. Each time you stop your anger, each time you choose love over blame, each time you decline to compete and turn back to refine yourself, that is practice. Blessing begins with a heart that knows how to return to itself. And if you have journeyed with this writing to the end, that too is a kind of affinity, a wholesome affinity, helping you see the path you walk, to see more clearly that living virtuously is never a loss. Loss is temporary, blessing endures. After all, you have heard, please just once sit down, close your eyes, let your hands rest, and receive this vow as a dedication for yourself and for those you love. May the listener receive a single wholesome thought in the heart. May those who still suffer gradually lay down their burdens. May today's wholesome causes grow in the light. May those in despair meet a way out. May every step in this life be a blessed step. May those who keep a good heart never be lonely in this world. And may all who are listening, reading quietly, seeking the good, know that they are not walking alone. Heaven and earth are listening, the Dharma is shining, and cause and effect have never forgotten. Namo Amitabha Buddha, Namo Shakyamuni Buddha, Namo Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, Namo ever diligent Bodhisattva Mahasattva.